guys have ran for over 200 yards. Just wager it up, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've done a good job. A lot of that, comes from the quarterback position. Checking the right runs. He had a good game running the ball the last time. I think that was one of the games he had the most rushing yards in. He hadn't had to do it a lot, but when he has done it, been successful and kept the drives alive, which gives you more opportunity to kind of get the ball moving. So they've done a good job, man. The continuity, I'll be able to play the same guys, so it's been good.
I know it's a team game, but folks like me or whoever that watches at home that follows the football, can we really appreciate what Jordan does? Do you think? As much as you guys do?
It undermines because we look at him as his player and his ability. But the strongest part of Jordan is his knowledge. I mean, him checking protection, checking run game, seeing motions. I mean, a lot of times in the game, he was calling emotions, from things he was seeing with the coverage spin and things like that. His football mind, he doesn't get enough credit for.
In the moment, as a coach, how do you look at that scramble he had down to the half-yard line? Because I know there was a pressure that was given up.
Yep.
Are you wowed in the moment, or do you not watch that replay until a day later? Jordan, that's incredible.
No, I was upset with Rob Scott because he had a 9 technique and they brought the corner, and he guessed and said, well, since they got a wide 9, they're not going to bring the corner, and they did, which is, part of it. That's not a tip, but they did a good job of having that, and he guessed on it. He was wrong, so they got to beat him inside because he set it too wide. That's what I saw in the moment, and I was actually looking at him going through it right there, and then I saw Jordan make the play, but you kind of appreciate it after the fact. I just tell him thank you. That's what makes him special is, you see those guys with those special ability to extend plays, extend drives. Great quarterbacks can do it, and he's one of them.
Did you guys have a goal in mind? I know it's to get better every day. A goal in mind as far as we want to hit this number of points per game, or we want to hit this number of yards per game, because you went up, I think, 9 points from last year. Did you have a goal before the season of where we need to be?
No, sir. I mean, what we talk about is we want to win the scoring offense that game. So whatever point that we need to get to beat the other opponent, we is happy if it's 40 or 1, So that's what we talk about on our goal board, is just what we want in that. Now, identity is talking about establishing the run and stopping the run. We don't really put a yard line on it. We just want to make sure at the end of the day we outrush the other team.
Points per possession became a more important metric in some sense.
Yeah, I'm seeing that stat come out. I think that people are talking about it more, but that came famous when the tempo offense was, 15, 20 years ago when people first started seeing the up-tempo. That was the big cause of it because of possessions and points per possessions, and I'm creating more opportunities to score. And that's when you saw the scoreboards go crazy at the time until defenses started catching up with it and the rules change and things like that. But I think that's kind of hit the premium where you want to have that, but it's not like we can have our players thinking that in that deal. They just want to execute it and things like that. But we just want to talk about more offensive efficiency. Are we wasting plays or wasting drives or wasting downs? And I think that kind of goes hand in hand.
So are you seeing fewer wasted downs, wasted drives, maybe compared to last year?
Absolutely, that goes to Jordan Travis. Because as a coach, you send the play in, and you watch. Even at the highest level, they send the play in, and then you watch the conversation that has at the line of scrimmage because it might not be what you presented or played. But Jordan has seen so many looks. But he's been kind of like, all right, I'm gonna get out of this and get to this. Okay, I'm going to change this and get to this. And defenses know it because they start changing at the line of scrimmage. We had some shifts, motions. They try to hide the coverage. And Jordan does a good job of, kind of once he learns their adjustments, he can kind of roll a little bit.
How rewarding is it, considering what you took over, where this program was 2 or 3 years ago, to have 4 offensive linemen honored in all ACC? I mean, that had to be neat for you as their coach.
I'm proud of them, because I put them through it. You come out and watch practice, they go through it. They go through a lot, man. There's not many, even today. They go through a lot now, and I put a lot of pressure on them. So I was just proud to see them get rewarded for the work they put in. And just to, so you have something to say, this works. So now the younger guys say, okay, I see why he's like this or why we're doing what we're doing, which creates a lot more opportunity and understanding.
Do you think that helps with the younger guys that aren't playing right now? Like, okay, he's really hard on them, he's really hard on me, but this could be the end result if I keep at it.
Absolutely, and not even just hard, but more growth. I mean, I always tell them growth is the key to politeness. If you want me to be nice to you, you better be growing. If you're not, it's not as fun. It's not an enjoyable meeting or experience if I don't see you getting a little bit better each day. So if you want me to be nice and things like that, then you better make sure I see some kind of correction each day.
Is Robert a guy you guys anticipate having to sit down and talk about whether we just got to get some feedback from the NFL advisory board, or do you feel he's a guy?
Rob is a guy that he's so focused and does his thing that I don't even have those conversations with him. I give him a lot of leeway because Rob knows what's best for Rob. And that's one guy I hadn't had to be on hard as Rob, because Rob is one of the best listeners I've ever seen, where he's one of the people that when he looks at you, he looks through you. And you feel more obligated because if you say the wrong thing, he's going to do the wrong thing. Like I talked about in that game, he said, well, I hadn't seen a 9 in the corner. He said, so it had to compute in his mind. Once he got it, he was good. So it's just, I count on Rob to know what's good for Rob. Once he get all the information, I'm going to let him handle that.
Coach Norvell talked about, you guys don't have a number in mind, like we're going to get 6 guys from the pool. It's all about fit.
Yep.
Do you feel you're developing enough guys here in-house, or you're going to be losing Dylan and Dimitri, the 2 grown men?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have to maybe try to find something similar to that outside as well?
Well, you don't think of it, like Coach said, like as a numbers. You're just more talent acquisition and adding to the program beyond the field. You know, when you talk about those guys you just named, Dylan, what he brought into this program besides just playing. Meach, what he brought into the toughness, the grit, the gratitude, the understanding of that this is a special place. So those guys have all brought something different. So what we look at is we look at all factors. If you can bring something to add to our roster and also challenge and bring this program up, we look at all areas. You know? Now, for the question, yes, we want to develop high school players. I feel like I'm developing enough guys to go help us win games. But also, there's always more you can do, and we always try to push that to the limit.
When you think about Jordan and his decision, if he comes back next year, he's probably a legitimate Heisman candidate, like an early season favorite. Do you think that would matter to him, to you? Because both you and Coach Norvell talk all the time about him being one of the best players in the United States.
No doubt. I want Jordan to get every reward he's earned, you know, and absolutely, you know, I mean, you know, everybody has individual goals and things like that, but I think he's put himself in position with his growth and his knowledge and his play to be on every list as far as rewards go, and he deserves all of them.